As a group, we decided to create an independent teen drama as we thought it would help us create the best outcome possible for our trailer. This decision was based off of the idea of our low budget as well as our overall knowledge of this film genre. When researching, we decided to look at trailers such as Juno,
I need to know that it's possible that two people can stay happy together forever.
Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind,
That baby's history.
It's all being wiped away. They're erasing you, Clem. You'll be gone by morning.
and Reservoir Dogs.
No choice at all. Bam.
This helped us to gather information and eventually decide the type of cinematography we would end up using in our own trailer. When making our trailer, we use lots of conventions seen within independent dramas. This can be seen through our use of titles. The font we decided to use has a more artistic feel to it as it comes across as handwritten. This helps to link to our narrative as it is based around a teenage girl called Noah who suffers with OCD and uses her art to help express herself emotionally and creatively. Main characters with mental health issues is very prominent within independent dramas, such as To the Bone, which is based around a teenage girl who suffers from anorexia, and Donnie Darko, where the narrative is revolved around a teenage boy's hallucinations caused by his schizophrenia. We challenged these conventions, however, as our narrative is not revolved around Noah's OCD alone, but instead we took her whole life into consideration, making it a film about a teenage girl rather than just mental illness. For our titles, however, we were inspired by trailers like Submarine, when the opening shot has a typewriter effect, and the shot almost directly after it shows Oliver Tate using a typewriter, which directly links the title with the main character and narrative. We decided not to use separate slates for our titles, as a common convention we found within independent trailers was showing an artistic shot with a layer of writing on top of it. This can be seen in the trailer for The Place Beyond the Pines, which we were inspired by and incorporated into our trailer. We did this by making the titles almost become a part of the shot and weaving it into its surroundings. We developed this technique, however, by also using film festival awards, which also helped to emphasise our trailer was an independent one. This can be seen in trailers like Diary of a Teenage Girl and Palo Alto. When revealing our cast names, we chose to place them on a shot that displayed one person at a time, making it clear to the audience which actor is playing which character. In the middle of our trailer, we changed our soundtrack. A change in soundtrack from instrumental to a song with lyrics can be seen in Palo Alto.
And I know that there aren't a lot of good things around. And I know that you are really good.
Why do you have to try so hard?
The beginning of the trailer uses a more upbeat soundtrack to help introduce each individual character. As soon as the soundtrack changes, so does the atmosphere within the trailer. As soon as we see an older man starting a relationship with a younger girl, we are shown how this will eventually impact the rest of the narrative. A change in soundtrack can also be seen in the trailer for Submarine.
To us, and a wonderful evening of lovemaking.
You're a serial killer.
As soon as the soundtrack changes in the Submarine trailer, we are no longer shown the comedy aspect of the narrative, but the drama is now introduced. Our first song consists of a slow, repetitive piano melody, which helps to represent Noah's slow-paced life and how each day is the same routine. Once the track changes, so does the dynamic within the trailer. The difficult and unbalanced relationship between mother and daughter is emphasised. This changes the mood of the trailer as it begins to focus on more of the issues in the main character's life rather than simply her personality traits. We decided to add this as our focus group showed that out of the 3 trailers we showed them, the majority enjoyed The Place Beyond the Pines, which displayed more actions and intensity between characters. A consistent voiceover plays throughout, which represents Noah speaking to a therapist about her life. We use this to add to the narrative and give a clear understanding to the audience who Noah really is. We also use dialogue, which we would place over different shots that didn't match its original sound, which is conventional within dramas.
She's always being so overprotective. It's like she's smothering me.
Just grow up and get over yourself and start treating people with some respect.
We challenged this, however, by cutting shots quite quickly rather than having long-lasting ones to emphasise the drama. We did this as it suits the character and her erratic life. By not using a tripod for the large majority of our trailer, it shows Noah's unbalanced mental state. However, this went against the conventions of independent dramas, which tend to use many still and long-lasting shots throughout. This can be seen in trailers such as Palo Alto. When making our film poster, we used formal conventions. This can be seen at the bottom of our poster where a billing block and release date is displayed. This is something we have seen on all independent film posters such as Palo Alto or Donnie Darko. The use of cast names is also a very prominent convention within posters, as it helps to bring in an audience who are already fans of these actors, as well as making more people aware of their work who aren't already familiar with it. Film Festival Awards is another formal convention within independent film posters, as it helps to display their success even though they may not be popular on a mainstream level. We added Film Festival Awards to our poster on either side of the main character's head, so it was something that would grab a viewer's eye. We did challenge drama conventions on the other hand, as we did not use a close-up shot of our actor, but instead placed her further back so you were able to see more of her body. This not only made it easier to show her outfit, which emphasises her not being home but instead is always out, but it also highlights her solitude and loneliness, as she is something small in the grand scheme of her own life. The idea of using an image consisting of a single main character can be seen in other independent film posters such as Palo Alto and American Psycho. The idea of using elements of the character's personality in the poster can be seen in Submarine and Pulp Fiction. For the film poster for Submarine, we are able to see the main character Oliver Tate having half of his face beneath a blue filter. This represents the idea of water, showing how he is drowning underneath society's pressures. This links the character back to the title of the film, as he himself is like a submarine. In the Pulp Fiction film poster, we are able to see Mia Wallace's character through the items surrounding her, such as the cigarette in her hand and the gun directly in front of her. When researching independent magazine covers, we came across Sight and Sound as well as Little White Lies. Both of these magazines had very different styles, however, we took inspiration from both. The idea of using art to embody a character was inspired by Little White Lies, however, we did end up using cover lines, similarly to Sight and Sound. The cartoon-like effect used for our masthead foil helped to highlight the independent, low-budget magazine style. Another formal convention we used was enlarging the title of the focus film for that magazine. We changed the colour of the film title to red to show it is something to be focused on. However, we did make sure it didn't overshadow the masthead. We also chose to focus on one single movie instead of creating cover lines that talk about other films. This helps to show our magazine reads more deeply into one film rather than lightly touching on lots of different ones.